Hello, beautiful people, wherever you are. I respect much of the people I've ever tuned in and talked about. Oh, Gintu, let's make things to happen and make things to get forward. For today, we're going to be having this kind of the session, opening this kind of the video. Wherever you're coming from, thank you very much for you being tuned and locked in as we're going to be starting this kind of the video from wherever you are. I respect and I really congratulate you a moment that you have just be there and making things to have a change. Right today, we have much of the things still continue to this kind of the platform of today. Right now, the G Castle, it has much of the spot. Behind me, you can see much of the lineage that are there to make sure that we're going to be having so fantastic and very, very fantastic way of the G Castle to be broadcasted one-on-one. Even the piping, talk about the pipe that brings water from the top coming to the down level. It's already very fantastic. Oh, my dog is just having a problem a little bit there and it's just limping. I've just told much of the vets here to make sure they're going to be attending on to it. The real fact I want to be talking about is yesterday the party was so fantastic and we have done it very fast. We have done it very good and it was so successful. And much of the people are still requesting about Gintu. When is the back to school party? Guys, it's going to be on 27th around 3 p.m. We're going to be starting that kind of the session on 27th, which is on Sunday. Talking about back to school. What I want much of the people, guys, whoever is feeling to make sure they're going to be contributing to our students, to our children, so they can just go to school, represent us, and make sure that they're going to be the people who are going to be representing our nation, and also they're going to be representing the future way of living. We're going to be making sure they're going to be surprising them because once upon a time I had one of the session combined and I gave them much of the sanitary needs. The last time I had one of the successful party again to make sure that the senior vulnerables are represented, and I just treated them very fantastic. Much of the people enjoyed the session. That is the real G. I don't have a manager. I don't have anyone to supervise. I supervise A to Z. And that during that time, I have people working at the G Castle, making sure that much of the works are continuing. But I can entitle myself to make sure that I can make a party, I can surprise the party, and I can work with the party without no managers, without no any kind of a meeting that, oh, we're going to be having a meeting to discuss on how. No, I plan it a day and it's always being a day. And when I plan it, there's no failure because when I just prompted that I want to do this kind of a thing and come out very successful. I don't have going back. I don't have the Kogmayas. I don't have the talking about much of the talking about, oh, this kind of the people are doing this. Guys, you see where your money is going. And I promise much of the people that I don't have any kind of the shagarabaga. Even I use my money to make sure that I'm surprising much of the people. I give them morale. Much of the people are not given the morale at their homes. Much of the people are stressed. Mortality rate is there. But when I come in, I make sure that we are surprising them, we are making them to move, and we can just indulge ourselves and talk about this is the better moment that we have to get and surprise them. We're going to be having a back to school. We're going to be having sanitary needs for the ladies. We're going to be having books. We're going to be having pens. We're going to be having even bags if it will just acknowledge and access unto us. And I will just take about thank you very much, God, and thank you very much everyone who has been contributing to make sure that we are making it happen. Not very easy. Not everyone has this kind of the moment. Not much of the people are talking about, oh, how did you get into this kind of the moment? How did you do it? How did you achieve to make it happen? Much of the people are talking about if I can get a platform with Gintu, if I can get a moment to stay with Gintu, so as we can just have this kind of the things going on. I always trust the living God, and I know that tomorrow is another day. I always promise much of the people that tomorrow is another day. Let's make it happen despite the challenges that are there, but we can motivate ourselves and make it happen. Let's contribute to this kind of the back to school party and we make it up. I've seen much of the people are asking already that, oh, Gintu, what do you want to buy in during this kind of the party? We're going to be having the music because we're going to be having the competition of dancing. They get a book, they get a pen, such kind of the motivation. We're going to be getting a tent, and we're going to be getting a system which is a music there, which is a tent also representing, and also the field. We're going to be hiring that kind of the field already, and we're going to be having much of the things talk about the ladies, much of the talk about our mothers who are there watching much of the video, our grandmothers who are watching this kind of the video. You understand what a lady needs. You understand understand water whenever you want to make a shopping for a lady. Talk about even the transport money. Talk about something small like a pocket money. We're going to be giving them. Because even if it will be small, but we're going to be making sure that they are getting something and be motivated with something. That is the best reason and the best moment we're going to be doing. It's only specific for the students only. Students only. From Form 4 to PP1. They're going to be represented. And what I'm always talking about is we are moving forward very fantastic. Let's get to this kind of the pointer and represent. And whoever is supporting, I appreciate and kudos and respect moment. Because much of the people are always talking about Ogintu. Can we get a very good moment? Even I'm always speaking to, I'm always busy. Speaking to the phone, making sure that this kind of the people are working here. And if you're watching this kind of the video from wherever you are, we always surprise much of the people. Right now, guys, somebody can pay me, talk about the plumber. Somebody can talk about Ogintu. How much is the plumber needing? The plumber right now, I'm having a debt. I've already paid $100. I'm remaining with $130 there. I think 140 US dollars remaining only, so they can just clear the plumber. 140 USD to clear the plumber and make sure that everything is just moving very fantastic and to this kind of the position we are and making it happen. Much of the people supporting Gintu, thank you very much. I always come whenever I'm just lacking. I say that, oh guys, I'm lacking this, and much of the people come and talk about, oh Gintu, we're gonna be making it happen, because always we have to strive and make it happen. I help, and much of the people want to be asking about Ogintu. We remember that you sold us that much of the people are going to be asking about Gintu, you told us that the things are just this way and this way. You got much of the super thanks. The super thanks are not coming cash in the phone. That's the real fact. The super thanks is going to the YouTube, so as it can just bring it as a salary at the end of the month, which is not this month, but it will be next month, 20s and above there. So the money that much of the people are going to talk about Ogintu are going to be sending a super thanks there. It's very appreciative, and I appreciate much of the super thanks, and I appreciate very much. But what I can just tell you is we have this kind of the moment for us to share and say that this is the fact. We always share 70 by 30% of the YouTube. If you send 20 USD as a super thanks, YouTube takes 30%, I take 70%. That is the fact. Let no one deny and let no one talk about it's and that way, not this way. That's the real fact. And we are moving very fantastic, and we are moving very fantastic here. So the good thing is we are having much of the things to do and much of the things to very appear and make it happen. And much of the people supporting Gintu, even the Kels here, they have not yet. You can see the Kels here. They have not yet reached a time of making sure we're going to be getting them to school. But we are striving to make it happen, guys. I appreciate much of the people are talking about Gintu. We're going to be moving this way. We're going to be supporting Gintu and making sure that we're going to be supported here. And if you want to contribute to make sure that we're going to be having an after, we are calling it a back to school party. You can decide to use my M-Pesa number +2547 00490047. It's a +254 00 +2547 00490047, and we can just rhyme and make sure that we are moving in a very, very horizontal way. And you can just communicate with Gintu one-on-one, and you can just talk about, you can use Western Union. My name is Samson Gintu Sigano, SAMSON. GINTU-SIGANO, Samson Gintu Sigano. And you can just make sure that much of the talk about Gintu, we're not getting it. SAMSON, Samson. Gintu is GINTU. Sigano is SIGANO. And we can rhyme, and we can just make it happen, and you can just talk about, you can just whatever you have, $1, $2, it's very fantastic. And we're going to be making sure that we're going to be surprising much of the people who are represented, who are making it happen, so as we can rhyme and go forward. That is the best method that we've ever been looking for, and making it happen. Contribute, and let's get forward, and respect and humble to you, whoever is representing and making it happen. This is the fantastic moment I'm going to be talking about, and kudos to you. The 10 minutes is coming here, and I respect much of the things that are happening here. And we have to make sure that we are ever getting forward, and getting forward is us to obtain that kind of how the movement is coming and how we're going to be making it happen. So this is the real G coming out and talking about let's honor the dignity. This is the fantastic moment. Let's make it happen. And everyone who is just locked here and supporting, we are ever getting forward. This is leveling it up. Let's make it happen. We're going to be having ornamental fish ponds here to make sure that everything is so fantastic.
Yeah, so just for those
ornamental for it's just for recreational. Yeah, and for an eyesight, you understand? And it's gonna be the eye impression. It's just put from the road main mode here to make sure that whenever a person can just reach here, we're gonna be having to see it as faster. And for the people gonna be getting to inside, because we're gonna be having also something like let's talk about the stairs. We're gonna be having double stairs here. Talk about the stairs of going up and the flat stair, to make sure that much of the people can just come with a wheelchair, something like that one, can just get an entry to the main point there. So that's the best method that I have just used here. So this kind of the side here, we're having much of we can talk about much of some pollution. Talk about pollution here. Talk about the noise pollution a little bit, but it's a little bit of the grilling, to make grinding, to make sure they're just grinding much of the metals here to apply the paint. Exactly, that's what is just continuing. So when we go there, we cannot even hear much of the things how they come. So the operations are ongoing. We cannot stop them. So as far as everything is concerned, everything is just going on good, and much of the people are just locked in and supporting. We have to talk about we are moving forward despite that we have some challenges, 2-3 challenges here. We are not buffered with such kind of the things, and we are not indulged with such kind of the things here. Those are just the meanders of the day to make us not to move. But for the people who have less heart, they can talk about, oh, that's just kind of the YouTube stand. And much of the people that have done it, it's not much easier for a person to continue while there's demoralization backside. Talk about a disgracing backside. Somebody can just feel like you are not treated in a way that you need. So much of the people have just gotten out. If we just talk about how we started it, and much of the people started it, and the people I got onto the platform, much of them, they have just talked about they have surrendered because of some of the issues you can never know, minor issues, temporary issues, economical issues, because even the YouTube platform needs a lot of money for you to do much of the videos here and there. So for us to be here, we can talk about the first thing is we respect each and everybody who is just supporting us and making sure that we are just moving forward. But you asked me a question here, talking about how did it happen? Talk about the GoPros, talk about everything like that one. How the things was is I was promised when I went to Sirari, somebody set me up. Then when I went to Sirari there, I was placed in a somebody calling. Somebody. Put it forward. No problem. So when I went and somebody just hooked me up, then things went shagara bagara. You understand? Okay. And they just got me and they just put me behind the bag. Then a little bit, it was just 24 hours. Then I just sorted them whatever they needed, and I just was billed out. Then when I came out, I found that they took my GoPro, they took my sunglasses, they took my cape. So when I talked about, okay, return my stuff then I go home. They talked about, somebody who stored the other things, so it was not available. The only thing that they stored here is a phone, and they gave me the phone. But it was not securely protected because it was still on, and it was put in the system to make sure that even right now, whenever I'm just communicating, I think they're tracking it already. And that's the real factor what is coming out. And also, they just promised that, after 6 days, we'll just come and we'll give you your GoPro. Yes. And it was on Tuesday. I went to there so I can just pick my GoPro because they promised to go and take the GoPro. When I reached there, they started talking about, the person who is having the GoPro is in a weekend, I don't know what and we're going to be coming next week again. So we have to squeeze you to the next week. And to the real panel, much of the people still talk about, much of the people talk about the quagmires here. They are still fighting much of the cases, again talking about, I don't know what and what and what and what. So just stupid and things that are not even responsible, you understand? And the real fact is, it's because of they see that, this kind of the person is making fame. Because it's the same when I was working and I made the fame, then they just disrupted me and talked about bad, and we just left the side. Then when we left the side, again they're coming back to mistreat, to misdulge, to just to do much of the things that they think about gonna be challenging us and putting us down. You understand? So the fact is, we are not intimidated muchly, and I've just sent much of the warning to this kind of the demagogues who think about, they're gonna be they're gonna be putting into down for their own survival. What I talked about is whenever you just think about you're gonna be turning me down, I'm gonna be turning you down too. That's a tit for tat is a fair game. You understand? And the real fact is if they're gonna be talking about the GoPro gonna be staying, because they're talking about the GoPro came because of the talk about the Didi uncle came with the GoPro and gave you the GoPro. So I never requested a GoPro from him. It's just, it came like a surprise. It came with a gift to me. And talking about Gintu, I really like whatever you're just doing, and I need you to progress. Yes, because he saw whatever I was doing. I was focused, determined, and I knew what I was doing at that time, because I was a chief chef, I was a fish ponder, and everything like that one. So the real fact is, they think about now going to be storing that kind of a GoPro. It's going to be maybe taking them far, or are going to not film much of the video. Because much of the people, they think about, you must have a GoPro so you can film a video and become so clear. We can use a phone. We can use a phone.
Also, your phone is very clear.
Yeah, I can use a phone and I can make it happen. And so the real fact is, much of the people think about, they're going to be now threatening you. They're going to be absolutely indulging and endorsing much of the things that will hurt you. So they can just feel that now they're so capable and now luring you or controlling you. That's what they need. But we cannot have much of the masters who cannot think, rethink, and auto-think. Because we have to get forward, but much of the people think about whenever Gintu is moving forward, whenever Ernesto is moving forward, whenever Lumumba is moving forward, they are feeling like it could be them moving. Because right now, much of the people, they have understood that we are having a competition in a way that people are putting out their ideas. An idea whereby if you come, we put our thoughts together. When we develop an idea, then the idea catches out much of the audience. They come out, talk about, we are just talking about this kind of the people, this and this. Much of demoralization is there. Much of the people coming from the other side, coming to the comment section, talking lunatic words, and think about, they're going to be now absolutely kicking you out of the game, or kicking you this or that. But we are focused. We are ever standing to make it happen, because we ever been thrown into the programs like being talking about, this kind of the people go and subscribe. You understand it? But we never talked about, yes, it's now our last moment. But we had to wake up again. Keep your feet moving. Keep yourself warm and talk about you're going to be moving. When you are frozen, you're going to be completely frozen. There's nothing will ever happen. But when we talk about you're going to be making it and putting your focus that I want to be making this one, you understand that even this kind of the G Castle to come out here, it has been a long process. It has been a long way. Even intimidations in talking about this kind of the people, they're going to be getting some accidents. I've seen much of the accidents happening. It's because of we can talk about stupidity of the witchcraft that there are much of the people talking to much of the people, or luring those kind of the words to much of the people that are going to be happening. Then when it happens, they are also ashamed that, you are just cursing your own village, you're cursing the only people you came and talked about you're going to be helping. Then you are coming to talk about this kind of the people going to be getting. Yet you alone who is just criticizing this kind of the people, you understand that you are still a human being and you're going to be dying also. And the people are just indulging from the behind the scene, they're going to be even burying you too. So you will not go anywhere. Because if you are living in a village and you stay in a village, it seems that everything will be operational in the village. There's no one will come from America. No one will come from Australia to come and bury. It is the people who are around who will dig, because they will have to dig. When they will find that there is water, they have to put a pump to pump water out. That's the real fact. So the fact is, whatever you're just doing to just you think about you are capable of withstanding the position of God, you are just a quagmire. It's just called the demagogues of the day. We don't have such kind of the postquams and the osquams of the day that do come. We have them. They have to develop. Yes, we have them and we struggle with them. Even Corona came and talked about we have to stay with it. That's the real fact. But when we ever get forward, and we are having this kind of the problems of facing, we are facing much of the problem. Not everyone doesn't have a problem, but we have much of the problems. But they want to withstand that. Oh, now if Gintu is having a YouTube channel because we came out with this kind of the platform and oriented this kind of the people to this kind of the program, now they want to take that program that it is theirs. That now they're going to be talking about, oh, Ernesto, no, I want you to do this way, I don't want you to do this way. That's what they need. They want to monitor, they want to control, which is not controllable. And when it came, the fact where things went very bad, it's a point whereby we had much of the people still talked about, oh, this kind of the people, whenever we send money to this kind of the guy and getting them into Kenya shillings, much of the people discussed and talked about, now let's send money direct to this kind of the people. That's where now the problem started, because at first, much of the money that was flowing to their accounts, much of the money that was coming to Nyabohanse, it was just passing through one person. Yeah, sure. So when much of the money started now disbursing, talking about, oh, we're going to be sending to you direct, no, I want you to make a video giving him the money. Yeah. So it started creating something like it was hurting much of the people. They could not know how to persevere safely. Think about, oh, how am I going to do this because I have some problems? Oh, why is this kind of the person given more money and I was the one who was, the money was sent to me? There's a person who can send you money. Talk about, oh, I'm sending you $100, which is around 12,000 Kenya shillings. Go get Gintu 11,000, remain with 1,000. You feel like, no, why did the money pass through me? So they think about, now we're going to be going a half. But the intention was the other person to get. Maybe this kind of the person, it's maybe deflating behind, or this kind of the person is lacking something that I could just send this money to this kind of the person. I was using you, now I'm paying you as a transfer person, and I'm just paying you as a service. It's like when you are sending money from your bank account from this bank to another bank. They say that, no, why are you sending a lot of this money to this account? And they will cut a half. The bank cannot do that one. So they will send whatever you want you to send, and they will remain with their transfer. That's what is always. But to the real fact in Nyabohanse, things are abrupt. Things are different. Whenever a person is sent this, they will talk about, no, they start talking about, boy, I was having some things like freezer. You understand the freezer is there. Oh, when you send the money, I was having a freezer, it ate the money, so I'll send him 5,000, which is remaining. And the real fact is that this kind of the people are taking advantage, opportunists of that time. Yeah. So even this kind of the G Council to stand here, if it could be so, now the people talk about, you understand, it will come a time that much of the people talk about, no, I want you to be like Gintu, you understand, look at Gintu is living here and there, and then this is continuing. But the real fact of the time, it will be that particular time. But when it could be the other time that they were talking bad, they were talking about, this kind of the people, they'll go nowhere, they'll just have nothing. But right now they see things are just getting straight to the point. So what I can just make sure that much of the people are getting is that never lose hope. Because when you lose hope and you give up, that's where now the things get worse. Because the teams that were taken to be so serious and to be taking over the game and to Nyabohanse, they're no longer available. And right now, everybody is embarrassed. Everybody's talking about, why am I waiting for this kind of a person to come and reselect my channel? Why can't you do it? That every time you have to talk about, oh, this kind of the person is good to the village. What has he done? Can you count even 5 things that he has done good? And talk about, okay, these are the 5 things that he has done good, and talk about it. Chasing much of the workers and talking bad about people. And talking about being lured with something so you can just give some people a shout out. Yeah. That's what much of the people think about. That, oh, this kind of the person helped me. Look at the people who ever talked about, oh, I have a cow, I have a goat, and they went with to the swamp. Yeah. What happened to them? What has happened to them? They're just right now. Yeah. They're just talking about, if I could know, I could struggle the way I was struggling. And the fact is, much of the people are starting much of the YouTube channel like content creator. They want to start it up. Never engage with such kind of the people who have conditions that you should fulfill this, and I fulfill you this way. That's what the much of the people are talking. And much of the people, they never saw this kind of the hint that was coming out. Like you have every time you have to tag his name. You have to put the name there as onto your title. Yeah. So as you could be, whoever is searching for this kind of the name will ever talk about, yeah, this kind of the person. Maybe why are people using this kind of the person always? It's because of much of the people, they feel like when you say it this way, and that's how this kind of the audience they are. That whenever you don't mention the name of Ernesto, you are no longer available. Whenever you don't mention, whenever you mention, you are available. Whenever you don't mention, no one can watch. That's what the mistreatment that was there. So it was not fulfilling our own luxury way. Talking about this is how we want us to live. And for the real fact is, for the people who are starting much of the YouTube channels coming out, they should understand themselves that things, and tomorrow is another day. Things come changing every time. And for them to change, make sure that you are possessed, determined, and focused that this is what I want to do at a particular time. When I started to have this kind of the GCAS, I talked about I want to be starting with a single step. Like, let me start with the materials. Like for us to start with something, we have to start with the materials. They should be there, and we should have what's called how is it called? Ramani, naito?
A map. Is it
the stuff that is showing this the house here. It's like a sketch map, talking about yeah, a sketch map, like a plan. Yeah, like a plan, exactly. So which is will show us that this is how the house will be, and engage with the engineer, ask about hey, how do you see this kind of the stuff here, how much and which kind of the material do you need. Maybe you can talk about, okay, let me have some material before you have a plan. Then things will just go abrupt, and they talk about, no, we don't use this kind of the ballast, we don't use this kind of the sand. You have to ask first. That's what I did. And when the G Castle is now standing here, much of the things I had planned for it, like 4 months, talk about 8 months ago, because I started 4 months to prepare for the material. Much of the people talk about, oh, Gintu, you are just moving so califragistically good, or it's now standing. But I started planning 8 months ago. Right now it has some 4 months now approaching, 4 months here. And I have made it happen because we are squeezing ourselves to make it happen. We are in a 4 month and it's now standing, and we are just making it happen. So for us to make sure that we are determined, I talked about I want to have it. Every day whenever I woke up, I see the plan and I talk about what today I have. Somebody has talked about, oh, Gintu, can you go to a hotel and relax yourself? I talk about a hotel doesn't matter. What matters is what am I going to do here. So what matters is how much is the sand one tipper. I'll talk about one truck. Talk about okay, we have the bricks here. I have some people to formulate bricks, and one brick is 2 shillings. And if I have 1,000, I have 500 bricks. Why can't I give them that kind of the 500 or 1,000 to have 500 bricks there? And that's what I was just rolling myself. Whenever I wake up, I see the plan. I talk about we're gonna be making it happen. That's how everything is going up to date. I talk about I have the finished plan of it. I see it and talk about what is next. Let me see what is next. I always imply and make sure that things are coming out decisively, and making sure that much of the things are going to be coming to the correct value. That's how we possess ourselves. But when a person is coming out, talk about, oh, now you have much of the cases, now they want Gintu every time to run to the custody, running to the police station, running to this kind of the side, running to the other side. They want about, oh, Gintu to be helter-skelter on the road, and talk about it's the case A, case B, case D, case D, case C. Every time is Gintu has this way, Gintu is going this way. They feel like now the way they mistreat you or mishandle you, that's the way they think about this kind of the thing now is handled properly. You understand? Yes. But the real fact is we are strong enough. And the more they think about, they're going to be taking my old gadgets, talking about the GoPro, talking about the stand, it's there. And my sunglasses, my hat is there. Everything, they have them there. And they think about now, they're going to be talking about Gintu will never wear the hat. You understand? And the cape here, will never wear the sunglasses. Yes, I don't have right now because they were so expensive for me to purchase. I don't have that kind of the money to purchase again. So that's the real fact. So the thing is, they understand the value of a GoPro. They know a GoPro can cost in Kenya shillings or in US dollars more than 500 USD. Yeah, sure. And when they calculate it, they talk about, oh, now Gintu gonna be going to buy another one, so let's take this one here. Let us keep it here. So as whenever you're gonna be talking about surrender, whenever you go there, they're talking about, you know, you understand, or this kind of the people, they're gonna be, gonna be buying, or they're gonna be retaining it, so they can just talk about, okay, stay with it. You understand? Yeah. So they can just sell it, or they're gonna be staying with it, so they can just give you a punishment. And what I see right now is a punishment that Gintu cannot give out some videos. But I always make sure that I'm always having this kind of the program. Even the phone to come out, it had been a problem. I was given this kind of the phone at night. After phone calls coming from east, west, and south, why can't you give me my phone? Only a phone. Okay, give me the phone, then I go. Because the phone is everything. But they take some things like in a way that they think about they're going to be controlling everything. And when I went yesterday, but one, they talked about, oh, there's another boy who has arrived here talking bad about you. What's the problem again with them? Was they talked about who is this kind of the person? It's the same demagogues here. They're talking about, oh, we're going to be, oh, this kind of the person came and filmed in my house. How many houses have people filmed? How many houses people have filmed? It's a looking like much of the people they want now to talk about Ogintu going to be staying in the road or staying in the custody. That's what they think about. They're going to be persevering. And the real fact is I'm not intimidated. I'm not insulted the way they think. And I'm no longer getting down. To the real fact is we have to struggle to make it happen. We are trying our best to make sure that even the things that we are doing, look at the environment here. I talked about, oh, we're going to be having the last time whenever they, before they could just get me, I had planned that the following day, I could just go and disburse much of. I came from Nairobi, and the day I arrived here, I shot a video. I was wearing the sunglasses, and it was the day I was going to the border. Then they captured me. It was at the time I could get from border. Then I come to Mogesi to check because I had an accident and Mayani. So before I could come back, I was now restrained there. And the real fact is the following day was the day for me to disburse much of the clothing and the sanitary needs to the ladies. So they went with me there. So much of the people came and waited. I was no longer available. Then I had to do what? I had to evacuate. And I was there. Talk about they're going to be storing me there a little bit. Then they stored me for 24 hours. Then I came out. It was the next day at night already. So the following day, which was the following day, I had to come and organize the party. And it was it. Maybe we have much of the things that will ever come to your position. Don't take them like a failure. Maybe they are there to overcome or to bring you to the top side. So it's the fact that even yesterday you had a party which was so successful, and we're going to be having another party on Sunday. Much of the people are just there listening and keeping it looked. We're going to be having a back to school. We're going to be having sanitary needs there. We're going to be having books. We're going to be having pens. We're going to be having pencils. Sometimes if we're going to be having money that's now we're going to be buying even bags. Yeah. For this kind of the people, even whenever we're going to see, we go forward and see that much of the people don't have some fee, we're going to be paying for them. That's what I'm just aiming forward. Yesterday it was for talk about the elderly. The elderly people, they were just having some party there a little bit, and they just cherished, and they came across and talked about this is how the things will be. So they cannot talk about why Gintu always we are calling ladies, we are calling children. Why about us? So I considered them. And I cooked for them. I had much of the meals there, and they just ate satisfied, and they talked about thank you very much. That's what we call about inshallah. So what we are just aiming for is to make sure that we are moving in appropriate manner, and that's what we are. And I'm just eyeing forward to make sure that the party going to be coming on Sunday, which is the how many days from today?
Today,
some 2 days to go. Yes, it's tomorrow on Friday, then on Saturday, then on Sunday. We're going to be having a back to school party for the children to enjoy, get some utensils. Talk about not utensils again. You don't talk about the kitchen. The head is in the kitchen, so don't worry. Talk about stationaries. They're called stationaries. Yeah. Going to be called the stationaries, so they can just have them. Much of the talk about the high school ladies, whoever they can talk about. We have little money remaining. Going to be having rim papers here because talk about some of them. They talk Gintu, this kind of the things. I have them. So how can you reconsider me? I talk about to get the transport money, go back to school. That's the best moment. So keep it tuned. Keep it locked. Much of the things going to be coming to you live, which is one-on-one. It's underscore Gintu. Keep it locked. Much of the things, they're going to be satisfying you with them.
Wow.
Thank you.
Always
locked.
Love.
Yeah, exactly.
Kidogo tu nipige introduction.
Guys, already as you can just see and this kind of the spot here, I have much of the timbers here being democratized here, and I have this kind of the plumber who is making sure that I'm just cutting a 2x2, which is for the blundering, which is the ceiling board timbers, to make sure that we're going to be having the ceiling board here. I told much of the people that we're going to be having much of the things representing two to three things working at the same time, because I talked about the top mason is going to be finishing, and also going to be having the welding is going to be finishing there. So already we have the plumbing is is ongoing with much of the duties there. And also we have this kind of the timbers being demobilized here. So much of the things are still happening, and we're going to be making things to happen one on one. And I really have to appreciate much of the people because they've been stood with me. And we heard about this kind of the stories much of the people talk about Gintu is arrested again. But Gintu is always ready, and Gintu is always available here. There's no one has ever arrested me again because we are promptly to make sure that everything is coming out very fantastic. And we have to make other things to happen. And much of the people supporting Gintu, thank you very much for your time and keeping in locked, because we have to represent and make things to happen here. I was coming here to check much of the timbers here, and I have just fallen down much of the trees here to make sure that the blundering is making and having. We are moving. The G Castle is moving. I tell this kind of the thing to much of the people. The G Castle is moving. We are never stood to the same position every time. We are making a step. And when we talk about we are making a step is we are moving from one place to another. We are moving in a very characteristically good way. This is the second video coming out, and everyone who is being tuned and locked in, thank you very much for your support and representing Gintu and thinking about your respect. And this is the best moment I'm ever talking about. And keep watching the video, subscribe, like, share, comment, as we're going to be making sure that we are supporting each other to develop and become we are. And we are moving. The G Castle is the project. Me, I'm just the mentor to make sure the project is getting forward. Respect and kudos. Thank you very much, everyone who is being tuned and watching the video from wherever you are coming from. Thank you for your moment. This is the fantastic way.